Given the issue of population imbalance, the issue of population imbalance refers to the phenomenon of imbalance in the population's distribution or structure at different levels within a country, region, or society. This imbalance may involve quantity, population, distribution, or the relationships of more specific population groups, and it usually triggers a series of social, economic, and environmental problems. This problem is greatly accounted by countries around the world. It's mainly manifested in aspects such as a reduction in the young labor force, the fertility rate, and the population structure skewing towards aging. Here we take the population imbalance problems in UK and China as example. The predicted time of natural population decline in the UK in the latest forecast has been brought forward significantly compared with the provincial predictions. In the national population forecast released by the UK official for national statistics in 2019, this trend was much slower. By 2043, the number of births was still expected to exceed the number of deaths by 2000. As a result, the time when the natural population growth rate of the UK drops to negative in nearly 20 years earlier than previously predicted. This forecast indicated that population growth is slower than expected, said James Robles, a statistician responsible for population and household projections at the UK Office for National Statistics. This is because the assumption about future fertility rate and the mortality rate and prevalence have both been reduced. Thus, it can be seen that the labor force in UK is continuously decreasing while the number of elderly people is constantly increasing. The situation in China is also not optimistic, since the population experienced its first negative growth in 2022. The aging of the population in China has been gradually rising. The data from the National Bureau of Statistics reveals this harsh reality. The population aged 60 and above accounts for over 21%, and those aged 55 and above account for more than 50%. Secondly, the low fertility rate exacerbates the problem. The data from the 7th National Census in China shows that the total fertility rate in 2020 was only 1.3, far below the replacement level of 2.1. This means that without an influx of final population, China's population will continue to shrink.
Our group believes that there are several reasons for the problem of population imbalance. One, ever involving science and technology. With the progress of human science and technology, all aspects of people's lives are constantly improving. The most obvious of this is healthy care. Rapid advances in medical technology have extended life expectancy. For example, people with tumors in the past can only wait for death in adolescent treatment, but now the United States has ushered in a new era of cell therapy to treat cancer, largely to cure the patient problem. In the past, diabetes, as the disease of most middle-aged and elderly people, has been plagued by mankind. However, with the invention of insulin and a series of inventions and discoveries, such as implanting self-regenerating stem cells into insulin, humans have seen the dawn of the end of diabetes. Because of this, human longevity and health are extended, and the elderly population is also growing, resulting in population imbalance. 2. The impact of globalization. Wanna talk about where the global workforce is going. Most people like places with developed economy, so most of the elite class and teenagers are willing to go to developed countries. Middle-aged and older people remain in developing countries. This phenomenon leads to the shortage of labor force in developing countries, resulting in the imbalance of internal population structure in developing countries. According to the report, the total number of non-farm employment in the United States in November 2023 were 268 million, including 47.41 million foreign workers, a record high.
Okay, as for the impacts caused by the population imbalance, our group believes that there are the following points. The first, that labor shortages. The decrease in the young labor force leads to a decrease in productivity, and companies face labor shortages. At the same time, the labor force mostly goes to developed countries. This leads to a large shortages of labor in developing countries, the slow development of some heavy industries, and the depression of the proportion of elderly people. Take China as an example here. Although a large number of laborers in China will not go to developed countries, they will go to developed provinces and regions. This will result in those developing areas not being able to develop rapidly economically. At the same time, due to the reduction of labor force, the proportion of elderly people in developing areas increase, population retail imbalance. Secondly, increased pressure on social security. The high proportion of an old age population will increase the burden of social security systems such as patient insurance and medical care, and the pressure of government expenditure will increase. At the same time, the high proportion of the old population and the proportion of young labor force will lead to labor shortages and labor force again in factories and units. Work efficiency is greatly reduced. Take the situation in the United Kingdom as an example here. Some information shows that the total amount of patients assessed in the UK is £1.8 trillion, and the GDP of the UK in 2021 will only be £2.3 trillion, with pension alone accounting of nearly 80%. At the same time, the United Kingdom is one of the countries with the largest loss of labor in the world, which may result in a loss of £30 billion per year. Under such circumstances, the UK has a massive labor shortages and a demographic imbalance. Okay.
Solution. From the government's perspective, governments can address population issue by encouraging families to have more children through supportive policies such as paternity allowances and parental leave. This measure can increase the proportion of younger generation over time, blessing the return of the elderly to the workforce. For example, China's policy documents measure to accelerate the improvements of the fertility support policy system, outline 13 initiatives, including enhanced parental leave and maternity subsidy, to create a fertility-friendly society. From the social perspective, extending retirement age for certain jobs can help address labor shortage. Factory can set a unified retirement age, customize plans for specific professions, or implement flexible retirement options, allowing workers to retire earlier or later based on personal condition. In France, starting from September 2023, the legal retirement age will increase by 3 months annually, reaching 64 by 2030. Retirement age will also depend on when an individual began their career, providing a fair and adaptable system. From the science and the technology perspective, while technological advancements may contribute to aging population,
they also address labor shortage. Artificial intelligence and automation can replace significant portions of human labor, allowing one person to complete the work of many. For instance, Qingdao's fully automated ports in China, operational since 2023, significantly improved the efficiency compared to traditional methods. This highlights how technology can reshape labor markets and support economic sustainability amid demographic challenges.
Population structure imbalance, characterized by aging population, gender imbalance, and urban rural distribution, has become a emerging global challenge. While the reasons measured prominently, such as technological advancement and globalization, play a role, other factors like economic, politic, and policy issues also contribute. The impact on society is multifaceted and multi-layered, encompassing economic, social, and resources environment dimensions. If globalization issues are not effectively addressed, they will lead to profound and complex negative consequences. Firstly, the most direct consequence is the aging of nations and the collapse of social security systems. Second, younger generations will face increased social tension due to the heavy burden of taxes and the expenditure for elder care. The problem will also result in urban resources accumulation, with densely populated area expansion, accentuated, and the depletion of natural resources and the subsequent price increases. For example, consider the country contrast between Inner Mongolia and Shanghai in China. Shanghai, a densely populated region, and Inner Mongolia, a sparsely populated region, demonstrates this depart. The cost of night stay in hotel in Inner Mongolia could be equivalent to the cost of meal at a restaurant in Shanghai. This is direct consequence of population density. In conclusion, population structure imbalance is not merely a challenge for individual countries and regions but a global series. Nations need to adopt multi-layered and multi-course comprehensive policies tailored to their specific circumstances. Simultaneously, international comprehension and exchange are crucial to address the global changes posed by population imbalance, ensuring sustainable economic and social development.